against children and adults have been coming to the fore during this lockdown, in addition to rape cases, which prior to the arrival of coronavirus had been on the rise. Now, the latest is a case of a 4-year-old. Julie Okah Donli is Director General of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. She now joins me to discuss this situation. Well, it's good to have you on the news at this time. Very troubling numbers that even within the lockdown, you have the situation where, physical abuse and all kinds of abuse has been meted out on young people and women. What do you make of this?
It's really, devastating. I don't know what other language to use to describe what we've been experiencing. I think we've been more busy, during this lockdown than ever before. Busy in a very negative way, in the sense that the kind of cases that we've been seeing, inundated with almost every day has been really heartbreaking. We've had cases of sodomy of young boys. We've had cases of incest of your 4-year-old girl, which is the latest one. We've had lots of cases of spousal abuse. We've had cases of rape, mainly on very young girls, on minors. So it's really so heartbreaking.
Now, what is the way out, especially during this lockdown? You have this situation continuing. Even before COVID-19 came to these shores, it was a troubling situation that, child abuse and, sexual abuse cases were on the rise. What are the solutions that you are bringing, to bear on this, rather troubling situation?
Yeah, the major thing to do really is awareness. You can't stop, talking about this. People are becoming more brave, to speak out. It was very difficult getting people to even admit that they were raped by their own fathers, or they were raped by anyone for that matter, because parents particularly don't even make matters easy. Even when they know that their children are raped, they even tell them not to speak out, not to tell anyone. So now the awareness campaigns have been working. People are becoming more and more aware. People are making more reports. Majorly is to create awareness that, if these things happen, it should be told, and to also educate the girls and the young boys, to make them know that, their bodies are their private bodies, are not meant to be battered or abused by anyone for that matter. So, these are just basically things we can do, especially cases of incest. What do you want me to do? When these children are living with the parents and your own father, who is meant to protect you, is the one that is raping you, I don't know. It's just so frustrating, to say the least.
It really is, and I feel your frustration there. But how more difficult or even challenging is it for you to, get that message across, not just in the urban areas where sexual abuse seems to be on the rise? It's happening also in the rural areas. How challenging is it for you to get this message to the grassroots? And how are you working around it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's that challenging, because we carry out massive sensitization campaigns about human trafficking in all of these rural areas. So what we've decided to do is to kill two birds with one stone. So whilst talking about human trafficking, we always talk about abuse, sexual abuse, battery, spousal abuse, and things like that. We talk about it, we educate them on it, and we tell them you have a right to speak out, and nobody has a right to do A, B, C to you. And in the course of doing that, we find out that we now get more cases of rape reported than even cases of human trafficking. So this strategy is working, and we'll continue to apply it.
Now, you do say that awareness is improving, and you would think that with that, people will be deterred from, carrying out this kind of dastardly act on especially the innocent ones. Are the laws against, child trafficking and child abuse, sexual abuse for that matter, are they even stringent enough? And in your work so far, which areas would you say need, to be upgraded, if you like?
Well, I think the laws are stringent enough, but unfortunately, most of the time, the judges use their discretion in giving out sentencing, which sometimes we are not happy with. I think they should be, increased. Everything on cases of rape, incest, for example, should be 25 years to life, if you ask me. You know, so I think that we're working on that. We're working on that in the Assembly. I think they need to do that to serve as a deterrent to would-be rapists. I mean, now there's even a sexual offenders register, and all the names of people like this will be found in the sexual offenders register. They probably are not even aware of it, even though we've been carrying out campaigns to let people know. I think this is a very, very strong deterrent. It will serve, the sexual offenders register will serve as a very strong deterrent to rapists and will-be rapists, because nobody wants to have their names in such a register.
Absolutely. And what kind of help are you providing for some of these victims, especially these very, very young ones who don't even understand what has just happened to them when it comes to sexual abuse?
All the victims right now, as we speak, are in our shelter. NAPTIP is working 24/7. We have not shut down, we have not locked down, and we cannot lock down. The victims are in our shelters. We are counseling them. We are feeding them. We are taking care of them medically. And we are also educating them, telling them that this will be the first and last time a thing like this would happen to them. And we've explained to them that they should never, ever allow it to happen, but always speak out. In the case of the 4-year-old girl, she told her mom that her father was molesting her. And this is the second time. Why the mother did not speak out is what I don't understand. She said she had asked the father before, and then he said nothing like that happened. The second time again, the little girl talked about it. She was just discussing it with her neighbor. And the neighbors were the ones who even told the journalist. So it wasn't as if she even came to NAPTIP to report in the first place. In fact, I had a very good mind of also arresting her and locking her up. You know, but sometimes you find out that these women, when they rely on their husbands for everything, they are messy. And, you know, instead of thinking of the health, the safety of the child, they are only thinking of their selfish needs.
Julie Okah Donli, thank you so much. We do hope that the larger society will be more vigilant to report these cases. Thank you so much for joining us.